Hey guys, my name is Blake Kitchens. This is Hound Hogs Barbecue, and today we're doing competition steak. All right, before we get started on this cook, I want you to keep in mind something for me. This is a competition recipe. This is not what you would normally do in your backyard, okay? So when you see me trimming, when you see me seasoning, when you see me doing all these things that look like it's just overboard, if you don't do those things in a competition, you're not gonna place. This is the bare minimum you would have to do to compete in an SCA competition. So just keep that in mind as we go forward, but hope you guys enjoy it. All right, so first things first, we gotta get the steaks ready to go. Now these are two choice ribeyes. I got them from Walmart. They're gonna be slightly smaller than what you would get at an SCA competition. They're about 1 inch thick and about 13 ounces a piece. You're gonna get one that's about 16 ounces, but these are a little bit more trimmed than what you're gonna get at those competitions too. So we have our steak, and if you look right here, you'll see all this fat around the edges. We don't want the judges to take a bite of that. We like it when we're eating at home, but when you're doing competition stuff, they get one bite and that bite has to be perfect. You don't want it to be predominantly fat. So you want to come in here, just take your knife and just shave that off. All right, so this is pretty much what you're gonna look like whenever you get done trimming. I know it's not what you would normally see, but it's got a pretty even shape, no fat on the edges. This is the spot that I'm gonna try to get the judges to take a bite of with how I place it in the box. And so this is your spinalis. It's the most tender, most marbled. This is your eye. And what we're gonna do to start with is we're going to do what's called a salt brine or a salt bath or whatever you wanna call it. And essentially it's gonna tenderize the steak. What you're gonna do, you're gonna get some coarse kosher salt. Do not use table salt or any fine kind of salt. And essentially you're gonna make a bed of salt. You want it big enough for both steaks to sit on. Now this is gonna tenderize your steak because at SCA you're only getting choice steaks. You're not getting prime, so you gotta do as much as you can to tenderize them. All right, so now we're going to completely cover the steaks with this coarse kosher salt. Now we're not gonna leave it like this for very long. You're only gonna leave it like this for 20, maybe 30 minutes at the most, okay? We're not trying to cure it and we're not trying to actually make it salty. We're trying to let that kosher salt break it down a little bit. So now we're just gonna kind of let it sit like this and we'll put it back in the refrigerator and we'll check it here in about 20 minutes. All right, so we got everything rinsed off the steaks. You don't wanna leave any of that salt on there. You don't want it to be overly salty. The next thing we're gonna do is we're actually going to wrap the steaks in butcher twine because we don't want them to just fall apart while we're cooking them. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap these things. We're not gonna wrap them too tight, but we are gonna wrap them to try to help them hold their shape while they cook. Go in this twice and then just bring it in. Make sure it's kind of in the middle all the way around so you don't have a steak that's kind of leaning. Okay, see how I made it a little bit round, but I didn't go all the way and make it a circle. And I didn't also choke it. I don't want it to be choked off when it's cooking. All right, it's time to start seasoning it. First things first, an SPG Rub. Our second rub is just a beef rub. This one has a lot of spices mixed together. You can pick your own. You know, there's a bunch of companies out there making beef rubs, but this is one that I make for my steaks. Third and final rub that we're going to put on this is the McCormick steak seasoning. This gives it a nice coarse texture for a good crust on the outside. That's it. Now we're ready to put them on the grill. Let's go get it started. All right, so we're gonna start with one whole chimney of charcoal briquettes. All right, one thing that's an absolute must in SCA cook-offs is grill grates. I know they're kind of expensive, but I would almost guarantee you're not gonna win if you don't have these grill marks on there like you would see off of grill grates. So make sure you get a pair of these before you compete, and you'll see how good they look when I get done. So the coals are ready. They're starting to ash over on top, which means that the whole charcoal chimney is full. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump these in. And I'm gonna just focus on one side of the grill. The reason why I do that is because I want one side hot to give me those good grill marks. I want the other side not quite as hot so that I can have an indirect side if I need to finish off to a certain temp once I pull them off. Reached about 500 degrees, a little over, which means those grill grates are probably running about 600 degrees right now. So we're going to go ahead and get the steaks on. Going to spray them a little bit to make sure that the steaks don't stick and we don't mess up the crust on the outside. And I'm going to start with the steak I expect to be the least nice as a trial run. I'm going to sit it down kind of at an angle and just press. Make sure it sits on those grates really good. And now I'm gonna start a clock for 1 minute and 20 seconds. And then I'm gonna turn them. All right, it's been 1 minute and 20 seconds, so we're gonna go ahead and do a quarter turn on the steak. This will give it those nice hash marks. Move it to another hot spot on the grill grates. Press it down and cover it back up. All right, it's been another 1 minute and 20, so it's time to flip. First thing I'm gonna do when I pick this steak up is I'm gonna scrape off the seasoning that's stuck on it so far. Now I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna just give it a flip. See those beautiful grill grate marks on there? That's what'll win you a contest right there. I'm also going to, now every time I open it, I'm going to drizzle it with butter. Don't want to be too aggressive with the brush. Don't want to rub any seasonings off. I want to get that good butter flavor on there. 1 minute and 20. Another 1 minute and 20. Pass it down. This one's less about time and more about temperature. So we're gonna let it go about 45 seconds and we'll check on it again. We're running 105, 106. We're looking for 124. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and move this over to indirect and let it keep cooking, but we don't wanna burn it. So here's the thing, this is why you do a test steak. The next steak I'm going to do, I'm going to cook it on the grill grates for longer before I turn it each time, because that's just the way the grill's cooking today. And so I'm going to adjust because I'm hoping that that one's the one that I'm going to turn in. All right, we're temping about 125, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing off. I'm going to wrap it in foil because it's going to carry over probably another 10 degrees. But I'm going to put a little bit more of this butter on here just to give it that nice buttery flavor. All right, so I've taken the strings off, and if you want to come in, I'll kind of show you what I'm looking at. You see the beautiful grill marks? These grill marks are better. This one doesn't have a split in it like this one does where the fat's separated. So this would definitely be the one I'm turning in. Now this one, doneness was better. It reached about 137 degrees, which is closer to medium, but I would take my chances on this one based off the appearance scores. So what I would do is I would turn it into the box with this spinalis facing towards the front of the box. Because exactly what they're gonna do is they're gonna take a knife and they're gonna cut it directly in half right here. And that's how they're gonna judge doneness. Now they're looking for medium, which is pretty much what that is. It's more of like it's a medium here, and it's a little bit done on the edges right here, but still a pretty true medium. I'd probably get 8 points on the doneness, but the appearance probably would have got 9. Okay, and the taste, I know what it tastes like, but that's pretty much it, guys. So that's what a competition steak looks like. It's very detailed. Everything is down to the second, but it's a really fun thing to do. So if you catch a SCA cookout or in your area, you should definitely take advantage of that. But I'm ready to eat. We got some rice, we got some mushrooms, we got some onions we're about to eat. So we're gonna get at it. I'll catch you guys later. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now it's time for what would I change? And the first thing I would change is I'd get better quality steaks. Those were the best I could find. I went to Walmart because they got the best price on meat, but they were not that good. The SCA steaks that you get are definitely better, even though they're still graded as choice. But you know, I would definitely get a better quality steak and maybe a little bit bigger one. The second thing I would change is I would have my team with me. Because when we do SCA cook-offs, we got 2 or 3 people around that grill all the time. One guy pulling the lid, one guy turning the meat, one guy basting with butter, one guy keeping track of time too. Like, you know, there's a lot of things to keep track of, so it helps to have a team with you. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. That's kind of a generic SCA cook-off steak. You can kind of add or take away whatever you'd like. But I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch up with you guys next week. So go out and cook something new.